What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun.
My head is fuzzy.
Actually broke the same nail again.
Whoa.
I need to go back and get it fixed. I told the lady I wanted the Gel X. I was like, I want just put a fake one on there. Let's keep it good. And she was like, no. I'm like, I can fix it. We'll do hard gel. We'll do super glue. I was like, okay, fine. The next day, broke it. And I was just like, I
need to go see Danny.
Can't even look. He was gone.
Oh,
I tried.
good for him.
I know. I feel like he's been going on trips
vacations
lately. And I was like, oh.
Love that for Danny.
I know. Plus, I did kind of do a walk-in, so I wasn't expecting. But yeah, it's hard when you have your person. Are we recording? Are we starting?
You know what? Let's keep it because this is girl talk.
This is
girl talk.
This is podcast and yap.
Podcast and yeah.
What would a podcast be without the yap?
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Literally dead silence.
We are here for the yap. Today's episode is brought to you by Hinge. Hinge is the dating app designed to be deleted. While the holidays can be crazy, take a moment to pause and reflect on your dating journey over the past year. What do you want in this new year? What will you do differently in your dating journey next year? So before the new year, take the time now and refresh your Hinge profile to better represent who you've grown into this past year. Update your photos, dating intentions, and your prompts. This one in particular is perfect. This year, I really want to blank. It's such a great conversation starter, especially for this new year. So refresh your Hinge profile early or download Hinge today and set your 2025 dating intentions now.
Ash likes to sit in silence in her car.
I do. I've been having a lot of, and it's getting worse.
Guys.
Wait, I'm not done.
No, but tell them this is within the past year.
Within the past year. And again, it's getting worse to the point where if I get stressed or overwhelmed, I can't listen to music and I can't listen to podcasts and I can't be sitting next to Jackson on my phone listening to something on socials while he's listening to something on socials. It bothers me.
You're overstimulated, babe.
And he'll have the TV on and I can't. So yeah, I do no music. I do no nothing because I need to sit in silence. Otherwise I'll literally scream. Yeah. And it's getting worse.
You know what you need to do is you need to start going to therapy, but someone who specifies in that type of stuff, more behavioral therapy. Yeah. Because that's cut, dry, paste, whatever that freaking phrase is, of you're overstimulated. So you're here all the time, yes. And any noise, anything, it pushes you over.
Which is I've always struggled with that. That's not a new thing. What's happened is it's getting more frequent. And it's getting to the point where I'm constantly telling myself, I'll be like, Ashley, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They're allowed to do that.
You can't breathe.
Be mad at them. It's not, I'll be like, Ashley, check yourself. Or Ashley, watch your face. Yeah. And it's been a lot of that kind of talk.
I mean,
and I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk. Yeah. And that's always been my thing. But now I'm like, it's dark outside and it's cold.
Well, Ash,
what do I do?
What would you tell someone who's writing in about this? To go get help.
Go get help, journal.
So what are we taking the steps?
Maybe meditation. I feel like I've been doing a lot of walks. I'm not in therapy currently, and the walking's not cutting it.
So
it helps to a degree.
Yeah.
And it does. It definitely, by the end of the walk, I feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. So there is something to that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I don't know, but also
because you put me on blast for silence.
Oh, because we were talking about if someone just was driving
a quiet
in silence.
Podcast.
Yeah, Ash started doing it, and the first few times I was like, "What's happening?" Because that's our thing. We get in the car and we just listen to music, and we won't talk. Sometimes we're just vibing out, or she'll be like, hey, like, here's this new song, like, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, the first few rides, like, that is my form of torture. Like, and I feel like it's because growing up, like, my dad used to do that. He used to, like, we'd get in the car and he'd turn everything off and we'd just drive in silence to, like, go visit family or to go wherever.
Yikes.
And I just I can't do like the silent car rides. And so the first few times that happened, I was like, Ash, is everything okay? And then you finally were like, honestly, like, I've just been doing it. Like, I need it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I get it. I understand it.
How was your Thanksgiving?
anyways.
Happy holidays. It is December. We are in it.
Holidays.
It is Christmas. It is the Christmas season. It is currently for us, not you listeners, but currently for us, Cyber Monday. And I don't know about you, but my plan is to go home and shop.
I feel like I've missed all the, like, I forgot about Black Friday. I forgot it was Cyber Monday.
How does one forget about Black Friday?
I don't know.
It is a national holiday on my calendar.
Yeah, I know. I should get into it. I feel like Black Friday's like not the same anymore. Like, I miss when, like, we all used to, like, plan on meeting up at the mall and, like, going out. Like, it's not as fun just, like, at home on your computer.
It's not as fun, but it's better.
Yeah.
Because every store is at your fingertips.
No,
so
for sure.
Is it as chaotic being out there with everyone? No, but you get literally everything you want.
Yeah. And, like, you don't have to, like, search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in many ways, better.
For sure. My Thanksgiving was great. It was very, like, chill and relaxing. We did my immediate family and I was in charge of green bean casserole, which is by far the easiest recipe out there.
Just
but
a little mushroom
always
soup.
a fan fave.
Yes.
Always a fan fave.
Yeah.
So if you suck at cooking, volunteer for that and everyone will be like, wow, you did so good. So I did that. And then I did a sweet potato casserole or dish, and then mashed potatoes, which is the daddy of all dishes. It just, like, takes a lot.
It's so good.
Yeah, it takes a lot. So we did that. And then the next day we went with my dad's side of the family and just did, like, charcuterie and, like, mini desserts and just, like, hung out for a little bit because we were all just, like, busy.
Also just full on leftovers.
Yeah. And then we played left, right, center, which is so fun. Have you played that before?
No.
It's like you have 3 dice and it says LRC and then a black dot. And so you all start with, we did, like, quarters. So you have, like, 3 quarters. So you roll 3 dice and then whatever the dice say, you have to say you get, like, a L, you have to pass a quarter to the left. So, like, your money's, like, moving the whole time. And then basically whoever's the last one to have a coin still gets the whole jackpot, which is, like, in the middle.
Got it.
Yeah, it's so fun. And my family's competitive, so it was fun. What about you? What'd you do?
It was great. Also super chill. My brother's in town from Alaska, so that was good. I haven't seen him in, like, a year and a half, so that was fun. Boyfriend joined us for Thanksgiving, and this was my first year not having Lexi, a friend of mine, with us for a really long time. So it was like my brother and her
She's
switched.
like wifed up now. I'm so sorry. R2D2 just made an appearance.
Turn your phone off,
my
Taryn.
phone. Sorry.
So yeah, it was instead of her being there, my brother was there, and it was great because my brother and boyfriend got to hang out and get to know each other better. They've met before, but just briefly. It was like a dinner.
This was like quality,
This
like,
was like
days in a row.
Yeah, we spent like 3 days, like 4 nights.
Love that.
Something like that together. And so that was really fun. I jokingly, but also seriously was like, guys, every holiday I'm like, we need to do something active. We're just sitting on the couch doing nothing. So I dragged everyone on a bike ride, and I think they would be embarrassed to say how much fun they had. Because no one wanted to go.
Fight.
Yeah, especially Alicia. She was dragging her feet, like would not wake up. We like got everything ready. We get there. We had it was so much fun. We rode, like, there's this lake near us that is like a 10-mile radius. And so we just did that, and it was so much fun. It was like perfect
10
weather.
miles?
Yeah, but it's not, you're on a bike, so it's not like you're walking.
Yeah, but dang, that's a decent amount.
It is a decent amount. And it's honestly, it's probably like a SoulCycle class.
Okay.
Like if you think about it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds more than it feels.
10 miles sounds girthy.
It does sound girthy, but it's not, because you're going super, there's flat parts that were easy. There were a couple hills, but nothing crazy.
For sure.
So yeah, super fun. And then we went and saw Wicked, which I feel like I was like the
Finally,
last person on earth to watch this film.
Thoughts?
Incredible. Cried.
Did you cry? Okay.
Even Jackson and Matt had never seen Wicked. my mom, dad, and sister, like we all went when we were super young. So this was the guys' first time seeing it, and they both loved it. Jackson's obsessed.
Yeah.
And he was like asking all these questions after. And I was like, well, Wicked's coming to the Pantages. Like we could go watch the actual,
literally,
show if you want. And he was like, yeah, maybe. But I think he's going to get the book and he wants to read all the books.
Well, so I don't know. Did you hear that in the second one, they're also including The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Which I'm so excited
Which is
about.
so cool.
Because that's the thing, like by the way, men love Wicked, and I think that's amazing. Because, I mean, my dad is the most, like, far from musical type person you would ever meet. But he's the one that brought me to Wicked.
Well, and it's a beautiful message, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to hate on something that's, like, so pure.
So good. But I feel like it was really interesting when we left. My brothers were like so upset because they were like, well, this ruins the whole Wizard of Oz storyline because now you like feel bad for her and like blah, 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 blah. And they're asking all these questions because they're like, the house falls on Nessa, the like sweet little sister and like all this stuff. And I'm like, you just like, it's all gonna like make sense. It's all gonna tie together. Yeah.
That's kind of how Jackson was, the questions he was asking.
I was like, you just have to like wait and it'll make sense.
I was like
it doesn't ruin the movie. It definitely shifts the perspective massively.
Yes.
But I'm really excited to see how they're going to tie
same.
the Wizard of Oz storyline into it more.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
Very intrigued by it. The girls did phenomenal. So that was super fun. And then, the next day we went for like a chill hike and then walked around and did some not sightseeing, but like got lunch and like showed my boyfriend specifically who doesn't know Riverside, just like some cute little areas of Riverside. And then that was it. We went and got, and last but not least, Jackson and I got our first tree together. And we decorated it, and it was super cute. Us and his two friends that lived near us decided we wanted to go to like a farm, not like a little plot Christmas tree farm where you go buy trees, but we wanted to go to an actual farm. So we drove out to like closer to Ventura.
Oh, okay.
And there's a Christmas tree farm there where you can actually cut down trees.
Yeah.
We ended up not cutting down trees because we liked the look of the pre-cut ones better.
Yeah.
The actual ones in the farm were a little bushy, which would be so cool for like an industrial building or like a huge hotel
for sure,
where you made it a little more woodsy. But like for your like classic ornaments and stuff, like it was a little flimsy. So we ended up buying the pre-cut, but it was so fun.
Cool.
So we like put on, I had to edit, but like we put on Harry Potter and I lit my first pine candle and we like decorated and it was really cute and fun. So that was great. It was very wholesome.
I gotta decorate. I was gonna do it yesterday and then just like couldn't find the energy. I had the craziest past week. So like right as like Thanksgiving was coming, I filled my pill bottle or like my organizer and realized like I used my last thyroid pill. So I was like, that's weird. They haven't like called me. So I call and they're like, oh, we're waiting on approval from your doctor. I'm like, bruh, what? Like, hello?
There should be a notification that goes out at least a week in advance to give you time. Because if you miss one, game over.
So I just don't have pills. It's the holiday and then the weekend. On day 3 without this pill, and this isn't just like I take Advil for headaches. This is like I need this pill to function.
Yeah.
And so by day 3, I woke up and my whole entire body was like hurting. Eesh. I was crying over everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I was so emotional. I was like just like exhausted, like it literally, and then I was having PTSD and then having panic attacks because I felt how I felt before my surgery.
Yeah.
And so I was just like freaking out. So I called the pharmacy and was like, I'm not doing well. And like, there's still a Saturday and Sunday. Like I need these pills. And so they were like, come in and like, we'll get you some to like hold you over. But I was so pissed in the office. I'm like, okay, so whose job is it if like you need approval? And they're like, well, we send a call out to your doctor. And they were like, but honestly, sometimes they'll go faster if you call yourself. And I'm like, but that's not that's not my job. Like this should be like, this is a pill I'm going to be on the rest of my life. Like this shouldn't happen. They were like, well, if you don't have your pill, like 2 weeks before your supply runs out, that's a good time to check it. And I'm like, that's crazy though. Like
I can't remember if I told you this or not, but I, in the past, have asked for 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
So I get a total of 3 months doses. And then on the last month, once I opened that last one, then I would like check in.
Yeah.
And that was my flag. Like, hey, like, let's call the pharmacy and make sure we're good. And then if we were good, then we were good.
I feel like I could probably do that now because I think my dose is finally settled. Mm-hmm. Whereas like every time I would go, they'd be like, oh, we're going to up your milligrams, or you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm pretty settled. But I was so bothered because I'm like, okay, well, offices are closed. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. So anyways, this weekend was kind of, I was just in like a funk, like a haze.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Such a damper on like,
such a damper. And I was like, I finally had a weekend where I was like home and like everyone was like busy doing stuff. So I was like not having FOMO because I was like, no, I'm just going to be home. My man's was out of town. So I was like, I'm going to decorate. Like I'm going to have a whole day. Yeah. When I tell you I did not move from the couch because like I could not get myself up. And it wasn't like a good veg out. It was like I want to be doing stuff, but I can't. Yeah. So it was just kind of like weird, but I feel I'm getting back to normal. Because yesterday was the first time I took a pill. Okay. And so
how did you feel this morning?
I'm slowly getting there. Like I feel like I have a little bit of a cold, so that's like not helping. But it's just like wild. But this was my first time where I was like literally not on the medication, and it was so crazy how fast my body started returning to that.
Dude, I bet.
I'm like, cool. Nope. Like, give me the meds.
Give me the meds. I'm good. Yep, that's all we needed. That's all we needed. That's the reminder we needed.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my update.
Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry you went through that. That's such a bummer. Babe. For such a magical time of year, too.
I know. Pissed. I know.
This is your reminder. For Christmas, let's call and make sure that Christmas and New Year's is covered. Maybe get at least 2 months.
I got a 90-day supply.
Amazing.
So we are
get
covered
through the rest of the holidays so it doesn't happen again.
We are covered, but yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hinge. Hinge is the dating app designed to be deleted. While the holidays can be crazy, take a moment to pause and reflect on your dating journey over the past year. What do you want in this new year? What will you do differently in your dating journey next year? So before the new year, take the time now and refresh your Hinge profile to better represent who you've grown into this past year. As you guys are well aware, Taryn and I have had our own personal journeys with the dating apps. I am a success story and I used Hinge. I met my boyfriend on Hinge. But before I met him, I was on the dating apps for a few years. And let me tell you, there is nothing more important than a profile refresh. I wasn't the same person that I was before, and making sure that my profile accurately represented who I was currently was so important. So whether you've had a life-altering experience and fully need to redo your profile or simply just update some photos, now's the time. Update your photos, dating intentions, and your prompts. This one in particular is perfect. This year, I really want to blank. It's such a great conversation starter, especially for this new year. So refresh your Hinge profile early or download Hinge today and set your 2025 dating intentions now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into today's Turn It Up. As you guys know, this is when you guys send in funny stories and we all get to laugh together. This one is titled, "We Ended Up in the ER on the Second Date."
Oh.
Yikes. Let's dive in. Hey, Ashley and Taryn. I'd say I started listening to you guys about a month ago, but I love you guys, like to the point where I'm chuckling in the middle of my office at your guys' episodes. I've been listening to your episodes on my 7-hour drives between school and home and was listening to it yesterday and realized I had so many good stories for you guys. Okay. But for now, I'll start with one. My name is but I would like to say anonymous, please. So bleep it, Michaela. So I have been going on a couple dates with this guy, probably the first guy that I've had really put some effort into, and feels like the first time I'm approaching dating in a mature way. For this story, let's call him Cody.
Love that.
We've hung out a couple of times, but I'm trying not to put too much into it and to take a step back and just see where it goes. For context, I'm 20 and he's 21. We both recently got out of long-term relationships that were not healthy for either of us, but we both talk about it a lot in a very open and easy way. Low-key would love your guys' thoughts on talking about previous relationships because personally, I think it's very mature and can say a lot about someone, like the way that they talk and reflect on their previous relationships. We went on a really good first date. And the second time I saw him, I visited him at his work with some friends. He works at a bar. So they're just like hanging out there while he's working. The third time that was an actual date, we planned on seeing each other. We made plans for him to come up to where I was staying for the summer. I live on my college campus and he lives about an hour away from me. So he was going to spend the night because we had plans to go out with my friends. It was a Friday and I was working from home. He arrived at my place while I was still working and he patiently waited for my workday to end, which was the cutest thing ever. I finished work and then we went out to dinner where he was the perfect gentleman. We got back to my place and hung out for a bit, then eventually went to hang out with my friends in our backyard. He got along with my friends so well and him and my best friend really hit it off in a good way, which is very important to me. Anyways, we were all sitting and drinking and him and I were bored sitting there. So I was like, oh, hey, let's throw this football around. I had my drink in my left hand and had my right hand open, showing that I was open for a pass. He throws it to me and I try to catch it. It felt as though I jammed my finger trying to catch the ball. And when I looked down, my pinky finger was actually dislocated. Like fully just hanging there.
Okay.
So it must have like perfectly like
It had to have just hit.
Jabbed it just right to like knock it out, which is pretty intense. Like that must have been a strong throw. I'm like, come on, she's holding a drink.
Yeah.
Take it easy, please.
What are you showing off for?
So yeah, our second official date, this man dislocated my finger. After multiple phone calls with my parents who live 7 hours away, we decided to call my uncle that lives in that area to take me to the emergency room. And my uncle's a who will probably scare this kid away. So I was like, this is just great. Mind you, I don't do good with needles, blood, breaking things in my body, anything like that. I get super nauseous and will possibly faint. Also, during this whole thing, I couldn't feel my finger. Not that it was numb, but I couldn't feel the pain from the adrenaline and probably because of the couple of drinks that I'd had. So my uncle picks me up and I'm in front of the campus's EMS house, literally laying on the sidewalk because I got very faint. He picks me up. My friends pack me a bag because we didn't know how long I was going to be there. My uncle and Cody all go to the ER together. I'm literally my pants because I don't know what's going to happen or if I'm going to need shots. So we get all checked in and saw the doctor and he told me that I would need some numbing stuff for my finger so I could get it snapped back into place.
Oh.
But the needle would have to enter my finger twice.
Oh, that got me.
I ended up being fine with the shots and my finger got snapped back into place and we left. He treated me so good and was such a gentleman the entire night. We ended up having so much fun together. But it's just so funny to me that this man literally dislocated my finger during our second time hanging out. Love you guys and hope you get a good laugh from this. I can't wait to share more stories with you guys.
Oh my gosh. Well, first
Anonymous.
of all, bring on the stories. We love it.
Honestly, I feel like we don't get as many tearing it ups as we used to, and that just breaks my heart because I love a good laugh. And you guys, I love when you guys send in these awkward moments that you just don't know what to do.
I was gonna say, like, we still will get some, but it's a lot of like I peed my pants or I like crap myself like on a date,
awkward,
which like are
dates.
so good, but like we want the like what just happened stories.
Yes.
And like this are so good. And
Yes.
everyone has one.
Yes,
Everyone
absolutely,
has one.
everyone
So
does.
Send it in.
So this is your sign to send them in.
Send it in.
And while we're reminding you of things, you should check out our Supercast account.
Absolutely.
Taryn and I
Because
read some scary stories in the last episode, and they were scary.
yes.
I was thinking about
Also,
them during the break.
I was too. I'm not going to give away anything of the story because you have to go to Supercast if you want to hear it.
Do.
But Ashley's scary story she brought was literally titled something about a like demon ghost baby or something.
Child.
And so while we're recording, out of the corner of my eye, I just see something like across the floor. When I tell you my heart
Taryn jumped
left my body
so
and
high.
It was her dog. But in my mind, I was already picturing like a demon ghost baby like crawling up a wall.
100%.
So that sent me. So you'll get to hear me have a heart attack live firsthand.
Yeah.
It
made me jump.
Yep.
You jumping made me jump.
Yep. You should totally check it out though. Much more to come.
Lots more to come.
Her thing she said was kind of interesting about like what are the thoughts about talking about exes with your current relationship. And it's I feel like there is a very fine line and it's very dependent on who your person is because I've been both. I've been the one that's like wanted to know all the things because I feel like there's certain things that are important to know. Like, have you cheated on a partner? Like, what was the reason you guys broke up? Like, what were your issues? Like, just to kind of see. I think it's just doing research and it's interesting. But I've also been on the other side where I'm like, I don't need to know anything about your past. Like, I'm chilling. Like, let's just like do me and you. So I think it's dependent on your partner. I also think there's a limit to where it's like, okay, why does this chick keep bringing up her ex? Like, oh, well, yeah, my ex used to this, my ex used to that. I think there's also where it can be like, are we not over our ex? So I think I think it's very subjective, but I like to share certain things about my ex because I think it explains why certain things hurt me the way they do. So I think that there's some things that I feel like are valuable for a current partner to know.
I agree. I think there's a huge limit. And I think what needs to happen first and foremost is you need to sit with yourself and really find out like what you can and cannot handle. And same thing for your partner. I think if your issues with your past relationship and their past relationship help make your current relationship easier, then I think it should be talked about. If it's unnecessary, I don't want to hear about it. I think I can easily spiral. And so it's better for me not to know things. Like I remember someone saying something at a party once about one of Jackson's exes being a redhead. And to this day, it's stupid. A redhead walks in the room and I'm like, does he find her attractive? And it's dumb. And
but I get every female specifically is like, I get it.
And it's stupid. But like, if I even knew more details,
oh, forget it.
It's at this point, like I'm hurting myself. So I don't want to know everything. I love to hear about things he struggled with and what he learned from past relationships. I want to know about that, but I don't want to know about the person. Yeah. Like I want to hear what he took away from the relationship and what he's bringing into the relationship because of his past relationship.
And I want to hear how much better I am than all of that.
I don't want to hear about her or like what she was good at or her passions or her talents. Like I don't want to hear any of it. I just want to hear about what you learned and what you've taken away from that and what I might have to deal with because of that. And that's it. And that's my take on it.
For sure. I agree, babe. I agree. Yeah, I was like asking Mystery Man questions last night because I was just like, you know me, I'm so weird, and I become aware of how weird I am when I meet new people because there's so many things that I think I do that people in my life like you are just so like numb to like how odd I am.
I am desensitized to all the Taryn-ness.
But like I'll say certain things. I was like asking him questions about his ex and I like said something and he literally looks at me and he's like, what is wrong with you? He always just is like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it was funny. Let's get into my story.
Let's get into the stories.
This one is titled Bitterness After 2+ Years of Healing. Help. Hey Ash and Tare. I love this. Hey Ash and Tare.
Tare. Just Tare.
Just a few besties.
Just call me Tare.
Chatting. My name is, but she wants to stay anonymous. So if you can bleep it, please, Michaela. I'm a longtime listener and love the stories, especially the spooky ones that y'all share. You give such good advice and I love listening because it makes me feel like I'm chatting with friends. Anyways, I'm a senior in college and need some advice from some unbiased internet friends.
Cute.
You know what? We are unbiased, but we also will die for you.
I was going to say, we are very unbiased. However, we are biased to your side.
To you. And that's how you know.
Yes.
The few times where we've been like, honey,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold your hand while I say this.
Yes.
Get it together.
Yes.
Like, that's how you know, like, we love you and like you really aren't not
100%.
in the right.
Yep. We're in your corner, not theirs.
Like, that's how friendship is. Like,
Yes.
you are ride or die. You're like, I don't care if you're being stupid. Like, do you? I literally I was with a friend and she has been ghosted by this guy for forever. And then we're literally at a game and get on the big screen and he texts her because he was there at the game. And she's like, I'm going to go see him. And I was like, no, you're not. She's like, I'm going to go see him. And I was like, okay, but I need you to look me in the eye and admit that this is stupid and he does not deserve your time or energy.
Yeah.
And if you can look at me and admit that and just say you want the attention and you want to see him, then
Fine.
I fully support. And she was like, this is stupid and he doesn't deserve me, but I'm going to go see him. And I was like, go get it, girl. Let me fix your lips. Like, go. But that's like what friends do. Like, they're going to support you
Like,
and
hey,
be in your corner.
Dumb, but good luck.
Yeah.
Make
but a
wise
real
choices.
friend also speaks up if you need to. So,
100%.
anyways, I was in a relationship with a guy from spring 2022 to fall 2022. What's that? Like April, May, June,
5
July,
months?
August, September. I would say like 5 to 6 months. Yeah. It was my first relationship and it was his first as well. I used to be a lot different as a person and especially in a relationship context since it was my real first relationship. I was pretty insecure and absolutely had a fearful, anxious attachment style. Do you know your attachment style?
I used to.
I'm definitely anxious attachment.
Yeah, you and Alicia both are.
1000%.
I think I actually had a healthy attachment, but I could not tell you the
I need to do some more
actual
research.
I also the other day decided I want to retake my Myers-Briggs because the last time I took it was in
Yeah.
college, and the last time I took my attachment style was in college, and I feel like there's a chance like it could have changed.
Can we've talked about this so many times, but we should both take it and then talk about it on the
We should, because I feel like a lot of our writers will
Are sending in
write in
stuff.
about it, and I cannot remember mine for the life of me because
No,
it's
I
been
can't
too long.
either.
So I'm gonna retake my Myers-Briggs and I'm gonna retake my attachment style. So
Okay, I
I
need
can
to
actually have some.
I'm realizing how intense my anxious attachment style is.
Yeah, Alicia's is bad too.
It's so bad. What's nice though is I'm able to like keep it in.
Yeah.
So I'm not like putting it on this guy if he like doesn't text me or if he doesn't say anything. I'm able to like, I'm very aware of like when I'm being crazy. So that's good. But now I'm like, okay, but now I need to get to a point where I'm like healing and changing some of these thought patterns. This is so side note, but I think it's beautiful. I came across TikTok the other day because I must have been spiraling out loud because it just came. All of my TikToks were like anxious attachment. And I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Must be really bad if like me talking to my friends about like what I'm feeling is causing
bringing this up. Yeah.
But it was the most beautiful affirmation. And it was, so if you struggle with anxious attachment or just when anxiety comes up like this. So say for instance, my like guy wasn't texting me back and it was causing me to like have a flare up. He said, I'm going to butcher it, but he was like, I release all expectations I have for blank. And then it was like, I acknowledge the trauma and pain that this brings up from my past. And I like release the power that this has over me. And then it was like some more encouraging things, but it was so cool because it was a moment where I was like, I'm letting go of my expectations and I'm acknowledging that this is hard because of what has happened to me. And like sometimes like giving yourself credit for like, oh no, I've been through a lot. Like that's why I feel this way. It was so beautiful. And I literally was like crying while I was doing it.
Yeah.
And I need to Mandy, remind me, I'll post that. We'll post that TikTok because it was such a beautiful thing. And I feel like I need to get better at like having those little moments with myself where I'm like, babe.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
This is not him. Like, this is your past and you deserve to feel this way because you've been through some things.
Yeah.
But like, let's move forward, you know?
Correct. And I do think it's amazing how all of us are prioritizing mental health and getting really in touch with our emotions and our past. But I do think just because you feel something doesn't mean that it's necessarily I don't want to say factual, because if you're feeling something, you should deal with it. But it doesn't mean that you should like unleash it on everybody
and act on it
before thinking it through.
For sure.
So I think that something that has been a little bit of a downfall with all of us getting in touch with our emotions is like, well, I feel this, and you need to fix it or be aware of it, when that's not necessarily the other person's problem. It could be like maybe something happened and they triggered you and you need to have that conversation.
Yes.
But like, I think a hard fact that a lot of us have to face, and this happens a lot with growing up, is coming to the realization of like, no one can actually like, again, we're talking like emotions and like mental health. No one can make you feel a certain way without you like allowing them to.
Yeah.
And you need to take responsibility for your part in how you're feeling things.
For sure.
And like differentiate between like maybe being a little psycho.
Yeah.
Or maybe spiraling a little bit versus like, oh, he did this, which caused me to feel
and it
something.
Warranted. Yeah.
When in actuality, maybe you read into something and now you've been spiraling and now you're assuming he did something. Again, I'm just painting like a simple picture, but like, just because you feel something doesn't mean that you don't have a part to play in those feelings. It doesn't mean it's their fault.
For sure. And I think it's so real, where like what you were saying about, it's stuff that happened to you before. So it's your job to like get it in order.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can still communicate to your person like, hey, these are the things that like I struggle with. And if you ever feel me acting like this, like it's from my past.
Clue them in for sure, but don't blame them always.
No, for sure. But that's why like I've kept it all like within myself, because it's not his fault. He has not done anything to warrant it. It's just my own fears coming up of like people leaving, like things being great and then they leave, or make me feel like I pushed people into it. It's like all those like negative voices from like past people come into play when like he's just chilling, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I thought that affirmation specifically did so beautifully articulated, like, first, let me release this person and the expectations I have to understand this is my past trauma, and like, let me like deal with that for a second, because I think that is a healthy way to like you said, not put like, oh, well, I'm dating this new person, they have to fix me and make everything better. It's not their job.
It's like imagine
sometimes they do it by being amazing, but it's not their job.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think them doing it by being amazing usually comes with like having had some kind of vulnerable conversation to help them understand your side more. But that doesn't mean you can sit down and just be like, here's all my trauma.
For sure.
Learn how to navigate it.
Yeah.
You know, like when in actuality, like you should learn how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And then again, absolutely clue them in.
For sure. Absolutely. Dude, relationships
are not their job.
Hard. Okay. Anxious attachment style. Wow. The tangents are tangenting.
It's happening. It's
on this episode.
It's a Monday and I have my Celsius flowing in my veins. Okay, I'm done. So weird.
I feel like we should just keep that, because both of our faces where we're recording, there's like cars that pass over us like every once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
And it's just this very loud noise. And usually like it's tuned out and we just like move on. But
why
that
did that
one
face us so hard?
Both of us were like, Mom, am I okay? Okay. Anyways, continuing. What were we even talking about?
Your story. I
Hello?
couldn't tell you what happened in the story either.
Okay. I have always had, quote unquote, my person who I care most about, and that's who I value the most. But it makes it hard for me to have my own time. I am a person who doesn't necessarily need to be around people all the time, but rather my person. I will absolutely be the first to admit I wasn't the perfect girlfriend, but I 100% was always trying to be better about communication. However, my ex was not so good at communication. He was the type of person to run from an uncomfortable conversation. Ooh, you feel triggered?
Yeah.
He sucks. Just kidding, Ash. He was way less emotionally expressive than I am. Ooh.
It's me.
It's me. And tended to be a little bit aloof and apathetic at times.
Check, check, and check.
Also,
I feel like all the arrows are just pointing at me.
Also, we haven't really talked about this in detail, but like the guy I'm dating is Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, have we not?
No.
Because I feel like we have, but I guess maybe not
like,
on the podcast.
I don't think we've really, but there's been certain times where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the exact same conversation I've had with Ashley, or like, it's just so funny. And I feel like you prepared me and I prepared you.
I was just going to say, can we take a moment to just reflect on the fact that when I first started dating Jackson, you were like, I prepared you for this relationship. You're welcome. It's my turn. I prepared you, Taryn, for this relationship.
Yeah.
Because not everyone wants to talk about everything.
And it's the worst.
It's hard.
It's the worst. No, it's what
I'm like, oh, why don't you just lift the rug and I'll dust it under there?
Literally. But what I will say is like the moments that he does like say something are so precious that it like, it's very, I don't know, like I'm learning how much more like important that is than just like constant like,
oh,
you know what I mean?
I learned that from a young age because of my parents.
Yeah.
My mom. And Mom, I know she's listening to this.
Oh, she's for sure listening. And we have nothing bad to say about you. We love you.
But
to the moon.
It's a great, like the boy who cried wolf scenario. When you just want to love so much and want to show that love so much, oftentimes it's smothering. And I get desensitized to, even though I love them. Mom, I get desensitized to the text. I get desensitized to the hugs, the words of affirmation that she just pours out, of her. It's her gift that she has.
Yeah.
But because I've become so desensitized to it, like it doesn't necessarily always hit the same.
Yeah.
When my dad says something, I fall to the floor.
Yep.
I melt. I am I am a puddle of emotion because it's not that he never gives words of affirmation, because he does, but it's just it's more rare. Yeah. And because it's more rare, I am just eating it up and I'm like, wow, that means a lot. Like I know you really thought about that and it must really be feeling that for you. Whereas like my mom, I think she wakes up feeling that, you know? And it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing that she's able to show love in that way. But yeah, when it's not shown as much, it's just...
Yeah, it's precious.
It's a little different.
Yeah, it's like literally precious. Anyways, wow.
We need to get through this story. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, no, both of us need to lock it in.
It's the Celsius.
It's the Celsiuses. Okay. Here are the main incidents that happened. I found out he texted a girl who he had talked to for a year before me, to whom he'd said, I love you. There was one night I knew he was up at an odd hour and asked if everything was all right, and he told me he was fine. However, he proceeded to text that girl that he hated the way he ended things and how he missed the relationship they used to have and missed talking to her all the time.
While they're dating?
Yeah.
While they're dating.
Yeah. Like,
yikes.
Yeah. Again, I'm trying to...
We're going to roll through.
Yeah. And then in parentheses, she put, yes, I know I should have probably broken up with him for that, but I've learned and grown up.
Okay.
Or grown now.
Love that.
The other thing is that when he broke up with me, it was prompted by me asking him for the same effort I had been putting in. I had stayed up the entire night before with him being quote unquote sick. He had allergies that were causing a dry throat. That's so real. Men are such babies when they're sick. Oh my gosh. However, there had been a few nights within the time of us dating when he went to sleep in another room while I was having full-on panic attacks because it was inconvenient. So he went to sleep in another room.
Wait, what was inconvenient?
Her having a panic attack, as in hyperventilating, crying, feeling like my world was caving in, and he just chose to excuse himself.
No.
Yeah. So suffice to say, we both were not perfect. It was kind of a messy breakup because we did the whole let's be friends thing. Never works. Mm-mm. However, we ended up being coworkers because when we were quote unquote friends, I applied for a job with my school where he also worked. It took me so long to figure out if it was the right thing to do because while I didn't want to see him or be around him, it was a job that paid better than any other option I had, and it was a 7-minute walk from my apartment.
Shoot.
I only ended up staying there for about 6 months, and he still works there. I only talked to him one time in that 6 months to try to make things less awkward. Where the problem comes in is that he has aspirations to be famous.
Okay.
The way me and Ash are going to be sprinting to his channel after this. I wish you would have just blasted it, but it's fine. I get it. She continues. He makes YouTube videos now and music.
Okay.
He made a song that he titled The Date that he broke up with me, which ended up not being the diss track I was hoping for, but some random noises he got off GarageBand. That's such a good burn. Yeah. He has also since posted an 18-minute long YouTube video about how I ruined his life and how horrible I am.
Whoa.
And while he didn't specifically name me, people who we both know, and then she put in parentheses, we're both from the same city, which is also where we go to college, know it's about me. I've been angry that he gets to go around twisting the story while I have been, quote unquote, the bigger person and stayed silent these 2+ years. It makes me so upset that he gets to play the victim while publicly trashing me. It feels unjust to be classy and mature while he gets to have his delusion that I am the reason he is so unhappy. He has a new girlfriend now, and it doesn't bother me because I miss him. It bothers me because I feel like he doesn't deserve to get what he wants and trash my name while doing it. Don't get me wrong. I now have the most amazing boyfriend who loves me with patience, kindness, and generosity. Amazing. And is the light of my life. She puts, we started dating at the beginning of this year, so it has been over a year after my ex. It's not that I'm hung up on him as my ex, but more so the fact that it feels unfair to act with grace while he's not getting what he deserves. It's only the past week I've really started to be angry. I truly did take the time to grow and learn as a person. Anyways, how do I deal with this anger when it's been so long and these are new feelings of anger at his happiness? Is it wrong of me to feel angry now? Thanks again, with all love. Also, here's a picture of me and my man I am going to marry. She's like, we aren't even engaged. That's literally me. I'm like, me and my husband. First of all, you are so beautiful. And second of all, I love this picture of you guys. You guys are very cute together. This is a doozy.
This is a doozy. I feel like there are so many things we need to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Things. As far as the first one of just him being trash and just dragging you publicly, everyone knows what he's doing. It's not a secret. And I think it serves your case way more for you and your truth to sit in silence. And that will show to everyone your maturity and how you're not dragging him. And it's like, I think it's one of those things where it sucks in the moment, but when you look back, including everyone else, including him, because he's not dumb, he's going to be like, everyone's going to be like, oh, this guy is probably the one that was in the wrong because he was the first to start just like screaming, dragging her name, like saying she did this, she did that. It's just like the whole like Jonas and Sophia.
Yeah, where
like everyone's like, oh, interesting. He's just coming out and saying all of this stuff, and she's just sitting there quietly. And it's like,
well, and it was, I think
why'd you come out swinging?
Yeah, a PR specialist said on TikTok, I think that's what you're talking about because we were talking about this.
Yes.
They were like literally it's our job to like handle these situations, and they're like, you can usually tell the person who's in the wrong by like who's the one that comes out publicly
because they're
like
trying
statements.
To get ahead of it.
Yeah,
is what they're trying to do. They're like, hey, this looks bad for you, so let's get ahead of it and say that this is what happened, so that we get that quote truth out there first. So I think whether you're a PR specialist or not, I think in your gut most people kind of know that, where it's like, oh, this person's doing a lot of talking right now. I wonder why.
Yeah.
So I would hold your head up high. I would tell your, most confident people that are like in your circle, and then like just hold your head high while he just does the most childish tantrum of all time.
Also,
with his garage band sounds.
No, literally.
Ew.
I was going to say, like, I think you're totally valid in being upset. Like, if my ex came out with this very public video spewing all this stuff about me in our relationship that I knew wasn't true, I would be very upset.
Yeah.
And even me, like when I do talk about my ex, I try to like limit it to like my experience, and I'm never going to like drag him in a crazy way because I feel like that's just not what's helpful in any type of situation.
No, not at all.
But at the same time, like, yes, you're valid for being angry. I understand that. But what Ash is saying, like, I'm just, as your unbiased internet besties, it is so cringy when, especially like a man decides he's gonna like be internet famous. Can we just talk about it? Okay.
Well,
and you guys have been broken up for 2 years, but he's coming out with these like tell-alls about how like you ruined his life. And like, it's just so thirsty. It's just so like obvious that he's just trying to like create some type of drama and pull and whatever, and releasing songs with like garage bound. Hello, I can't even say it because it's that cheesy. I just feel like what Ash said, like I would almost just like make it comical. It says a lot more about him that he needs to still be talking about it when like he has another girlfriend, like his poor girlfriend. Imagine if like,
how does she feel about that? Yeah.
if he's just on talking about this girl ruined my life, like blah, 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 I'd be like, are we not past it? Like, huh?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I would just step back. I would probably limit my exposure to him.
Absolutely.
Like I would block him on everything. Yeah. And just because I wouldn't want to see it if it was affecting me in that way. And then obviously, like if it ever got to a point where you felt like you needed to defend yourself, that's your choice. But I think sometimes the best route is to just like laugh it off and deal with it privately. But he sounds terrible. And it sounds like you have done so much work and gotten to such a good place like within yourself and with this new relationship. I wouldn't let it like taint it at all. I would just like keep it very distant from you, move on, and make it funny. Like be like, oh my God, like next time you're out with your girls, like I would be like, oh, like I got the aux cord, and like put on his song and just like, you know what I mean? Like I would just like make it funny and be like, oh my God, like you guys, like there's this new up and coming YouTuber, like whatever, like make it funny because
learn the
it
lyrics
is funny
to your diss track.
Yeah. Literally.
Do a little karaoke moment. Yeah.
Send it to me. I'll do a cover.
An acoustic cover.
Yeah, beautiful cover. But yeah, I just think like it's so obvious what he's doing. It feels thirsty. It feels desperate.
And that's the thing is it's not the internet famous. It's not him creating a YouTube channel. It's what he's using it for. And that's just, it's not classy. It's trashy. And it's such an obvious trashy too. So let him dig his own grave. Like that's going to look bad. And I guarantee you he's going to private it one day because he's going to realize how embarrassing it is.
No, absolutely. But no matter what you do, I'm expecting a DM, an email, something with a link to his video because me and Ashley are going to absolutely roast this man. So
we're going to pour ourselves a glass of wine while we scroll through and watch all the videos. I want to watch your diss track specifically.
Literally.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think you're valid for getting upset. It's annoying, but it's now dumb. I think just leave him. Like
he's an adult. He's throwing a tantrum.
Don't go to his level at all. Just like keep going in your path.
Yep.
You and your beautiful relationship, focus on that and like make it something that's like comical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that goes way farther
for sure
than a diss track with garage band soundtracks.
I'm literally dead. I can't.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Let's go ahead and pivot to my story. All right. My title is I think I caught my dad cheating. Should I tell my mom?
Let me just tell you this right now. I don't know how I would function.
This is tough. This is real tough.
But what's crazy is I've heard like multiple people say they were in that situation. And then obviously there's like TV shows, movies, like whatever. But I just like don't even know how I would like, I don't know.
I had a friend that was in this situation and I can't even begin to imagine
No.
the feelings that flood you. Like it's tough.
No. Yeah.
So without further ado, let's dive in. Hey, Taryn and Ashley.
Hey.
My name is Tatum, and you can say my name. I want to start out by saying that I am such a big fan of the podcast. I've listened to you ladies since the very beginning of UA. I'm reaching out because I'm struggling with a family situation and I'm not sure what to do. When I came home from college for Thanksgiving break, literally
Oh, that like
a
just
week ago,
happened.
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
week ago, me and my parents went to dinner. At dinner, I was seated next to my dad and my mom sat across from us. During dinner, I noticed my dad texting another woman.
Oh, God.
At first, I didn't think anything of it because he does have some women in his office that he has to communicate with after hours. But once I started looking closer, I noticed the messages included heart emojis and flirty conversations. I immediately shut down and started internally freaking out, trying to decide what was going on and what I should do. The non-confrontational part of me wanted to stay silent and just ignore it. Another part of me wanted to tell my mom as soon as I got home. My mom is everything to me, and it made my heart drop just thinking about how hurt she would be if I told her. Ultimately, I decided to confront my dad directly before saying anything to my mom. I sent him a message telling him I saw what happened and that it needed to stop because it's not fair to my mom or our family. He responded and I could tell he was very sorry, and I know it upset him that he got caught. But caught doing what? I'm not really sure. Was my dad having a full-on affair with this woman, or was it just a flirty text message? How long has this been going on? It's so hard for me to think about because I don't think I want to know the full story. Kind of what we were talking about earlier. But I also don't like not knowing what was/is truly going on with my dad. Anyways, things were very weird between us for the next few days. It still haunts my mind knowing that there is this guilty secret between me and my dad that my mom doesn't know. I wish I could tell her, but I know it would cause a lot of issues between my family. I'm in college, but my little brother is still in junior high, and I don't want my parents to be having separation issues while he's still home. How do I figure out what to do next? Should I give my dad a chance to fix things, or should I tell my mom everything now? How am I supposed to trust my dad and know that he won't continue to be disloyal to my mom? I'm really conflicted, and I'd love your advice on how to handle this. Thank you, ladies, so much for taking the time to read this. I would appreciate any advice that you have. Love y'all. This makes me sick to my stomach.
And I'm scared to give my opinion because this is like such a tricky.
This is tricky. This is your parents that you have, so much love for both of them, whether they're in the right or in the wrong. Like they're your family, they're your parents, and you love them. So that's really hard.
So give our disclaimer.
Yeah. So, take this with a grain of salt. This is what I would do, and this is what Taryn would do. This isn't necessarily what you should do. What you should do, only I think you're going to hear what we say, and it's either going to resonate, and you're going to be like, yes, I'm going to do that, or you're going to hear what we say, and you're going to be like, nope, that does not sit right. I'm not going to do that. What I would suggest right before we dive into anything is I would maybe talk to someone that knows them both that's an adult. I don't know if your mom has a best friend or you have an aunt that you're close with, someone that you can confide in that can kind of give you wisdom that knows them well enough.
And honestly,
and maybe do the hard work for you.
Because they're probably going to say something.
Like if I was the mom in this situation, I would hope that my kid would feel safe enough to go to Alicia. And then I wouldn't want my kid to get involved too much because like that's your dad and that's your mom and you don't want to know everything. So that first off, like that's probably what I would do is let the adults handle the adult issues. If you did want to confront your dad, I would probably confront my dad one more time before talking to my mom. And I would say something along the lines of, hi, I'm spiraling over here because in my head, you have another family. I'm going worst case.
Yeah.
So I need to know just what's happening. I don't want to know details. I just want to know like the word. Is there an affair going on? Has this only been like a chat conversation? But
he didn't, when she confronted him, he literally just immediately was, I'm sorry and shame.
Yeah.
So I think that says.
I think it does, but sometimes you need.
But is that her job though, as a kid, to like do?
No.
That's the part I'm stuck on, is I can't imagine that pressure or having to like go to my dad and be like, are you cheating on mom? Like, I need to know. Like, I don't know. It's just so hard because there's that limit of where it almost is like they need to deal with it. And I would hate, I mean, every time like my mom walks in a room and kisses my dad on the cheek and is like, love you, babe.
That
Like, here, I made you
up.
lunch. I like, let's have a date night. Like, I don't think I could live with that.
Yeah. But what I will say from experience is you can't unhear something.
No, you can't.
So if you choose to need some kind of like closure or confirmation on what's going on with your dad, then like be prepared that you won't be able to unhear the answer he gives. And I don't think children should know everything about their parents. Sometimes that it can be more damaging.
For sure.
So again, that kind of goes back to me really hoping that you have an auntie or someone that you can confide in. But I also know this happened with my friend that was in this situation too. Like, she needed to know. And it was this, whether it made sense or not, like in the moment she needed to know. She didn't know what reaction to go with because she was so torn and like in the middle. So sometimes if you feel like you need to know, then go for it. Again, I would ask for zero details. I would say, are you having an affair? Yes or no? Is this just a conversation? Yes or no? Has this been like a long time fling? Whatever, like ask for yes or no answers and no details, because the details that's no fun. And then I would tell my mom everything after that, because that's not your fight. That's not your secret to hold. Like that, she's an adult. And even though you want to protect your mom and it's heartbreaking to have to do that to your mom, you're not the one doing it. Your dad is.
Well, yeah. And it's that whole like, you know, I've even had, like, I have a friend who's going through something where it's like, she knows what she needs to do is going to cause like a rift in like her family. But it's like, okay, well, like, yeah, she can just pretend she doesn't know things and like not act on it. But that's committing to a lifetime of just like silently being tortured by like knowing the information, you know? And I don't think that's fair either. Like, I feel like this is, first of all, can we just acknowledge this is so unfair that you're going through this?
It's
and like,
not fair.
I can't even imagine the anger that you have towards your dad, like how uncomfortable it is, like you're feeling bad for I can't even imagine all that this has brought up. And I know you're thinking about like your brother and you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, like what's to come. But at the end of the day, your dad's actions are going to be the things that causes whatever's to come. It's not if I tell or not. Like, you caught your dad in something that he already was doing. Like, so you need to take that pressure off of yourself, because this is not in any way, shape, or form your fault.
No.
This is something like your dad, who is a grown man and knows what he's doing, has like chosen to do. So I just feel like you need to like kind of release and like, I don't know, frick. I hate even saying, you can like,
even not like tell him that he has to tell your mom, like make him do that hard part. Cause he deserves to, like, that's his burden to carry, not yours. Again, whatever sits right with you. If you feel like you want to go tell your mom everything, go for it. But also you could say like, okay, like if you confirm what he has or has not done, then you can be like, you're in the wrong. You have a day to tell mom. Or I'm telling her.
And tell like, if you go that route, making him understand like how much this has affected you and like how much like pressure this has put on you and how you feel like you're betraying your mom and like you're holding this secret that's like tearing you apart. Like, I feel like that's totally fair to be like, Dad, this is destroying me. And like, you have to say something or I will, because this is not fair that this is on me. Like, I don't know how to like look at you. I don't know how to process. Like, I need this to like be out on the table, and whatever happens with you and mom, that's you did this, Dad. Like you've got to deal with it. Like I can't have this on me anymore.
Yeah. And you can make sure if you want to be, it sounds like you're the oldest, so you can even make sure your brother's like out of the house at a friend's house or something. Or again, I really hope you have an auntie or like a best, your parents' friends or someone that can like step in. They can get him out of the house so that they can deal with that. And you can make sure your brother's like in good hands during that. But biggest advice is to recognize that this is not your fault, that this is an adult thing that they need to talk about, and it should not ever involve the child. And I think you can get whatever confirmation you need or don't need. Tell your mom or make your dad tell your mom. Find someone that you can confide in that can kind of like take the burden off your shoulders and deal with it for you, and then just like walk away, because that's not your space. And then once everything, hits the fan and they have that conversation, then you can choose how much you want to be there for your mom. But
at the end of the
it's
day,
not your responsibility.
No.
She has people in her life that she can vent to, that she can talk about. You can go like snuggle with her, plan a movie night, like a little girl's day or something.
She deserves to know too.
She
like
does.
At the end of the day, she's a woman who's in love with a man and like trying to do her best. And you have to think about it in that way too. Like if you were her, like you would want to know. And that might mean that like everything's about to change, but like she deserves to know and to make a decision based off of all the information.
She's stronger than you think she is. And I'm not saying it won't hurt her or break her for a moment, but she can handle it. And I think she would prefer that she know and handle it herself than you try to take on something that's not yours, like as a mom. I'm not even a mom, and I would want to carry that, not my kid,
I feel like that's going to be like the driving thing that pisses her off. Is like,
she's going to be like, she found out.
You're literally texting and then had like our daughter is the one who's had to hold this. Like, I would just get that off of you as soon as possible, because I don't think either of them want that. And if your dad starts to ask you not to say anything, like,
skirt,
girl,
nope.
That would be my defining, like, absolutely okay, no. Yeah. Like, because that shows that he's just in that is a child. Like a selfish place.
That's a scared, panicked, immature child response. So
I am so sorry though that you're going through this. And like Ash said, like you need to like find people to lean on, because that's a very rough situation and situation to like process in general. So definitely lean on your people and keep us posted, because we'll be thinking about you for sure.
Yeah, I'm so sorry this is happening, especially during the holidays. Not your burden.
Sorry, I'm getting my dad joke ready because I think you need it more than ever.
Yeah, this one's for you.
This one is for you. Should I do a Christmas one since we're in the mood?
Yes, please.
Okay. What do you call a poor Santa Claus?
Poor Santa Claus. Poor Santa Claus. I don't know.
Saint Nicholas.
Ashley, like, think.
No, but like, if you would have literally just organically guessed that, I would have been like...
Nicholas. Ugh, stupid. So dumb. Well, guys, hope that lightened the mood. That was such a bummer.
No, I know.
But again, so grateful that you felt comfortable enough to share with us, to share your stories with us. You are not the only one who has been in this situation. I can guarantee that. I hope you feel, both of you, just so much love from us, because we're really just like hoping to like push it through the microphone at you.
Literally.
Air hug. But you've got this. We love you. If you have a story that you want read on the podcast, then guess what? You have to email them in. And what's our email, Taryn?
adviceunsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
Send them in. And we'll talk soon.
Do it.
Love you. Bye.